For those of you who do not know me, I am the medical mystery. Uh, Today I decided to do a video on what I think are going to be the necessities to have when the dollar collapses. We have an economic collapse, SHTF happens, um, martial law happens, whatever you want to call it. Um, this is what I think Americans need to prepare for. Um, of course, there's a lot to consider because demographics play a lot into the picture. You look at places like New York, which is a small state with a high population. Um, Trying to get in and out of there in a situation like martial law or the collapse of the economy is going to be next to impossible. Um, their situation is going to be different than somebody that lives in a town of 1,500 in a remote area in a northern part of the country. Um, so there's different aspects to look at. But what you have to consider first and foremost is what is the overall agenda of the elitist to give you an understanding of what you need. Firstly, I'm sure if everybody's been keeping up with the news and reading and following the headlines, everybody's telling you to buy precious metals, get your bills paid off. Um, I say bullshit to each and every one of those scenarios. Gold and silver is not going to do you any good in a time of need. It's not going to do you any good in the future, no matter what. And I'll tell you why. The elitist plan is depopularization, first and foremost. Um, there are billions of rounds of hollow point ammunition sitting on U.S. territory. It is against the Articles of War to even use hollow point bullets during wartime. We can't even use hollow point bullets on our own enemies. But yet we have hollow point bullets, billions of rounds of them, on U.S. territory. So one can draw a conclusion that they're going to use it against the U.S. citizens. Gold and silver is more than likely going to be either confiscated by the government. You're either going to be coerced into selling your gold and silver in order to have an RFID chip implanted in your hand. And at that time, the money will be loaded in your RFID chip. And if you read the Bible, that's the mark of the beast. And the beast is the system. It's the system in general. That is what the beast is. Gold and silver is a waste of time. It's a waste of expense. And if you have to bug out and you've got this huge, massive stacking collection. What's going to be more important for you? Clothes and food in a bug out bag, or 60 pounds of gold and silver to haul? You decide. I don't think anybody's going to carry the gold and the silver. Um, when the banks become insolvent and they crash, and all these companies go under, where are you going to sell your gold and silver anyway? There's going to be no place to sell them. The government's already got it figured out. They already know how to get your gold and silver one way or the other. And yeah, they talk about the price of gold and silver skyrocketing to the moon, but that's once they get your gold and silver. So don't waste your time and money on gold and silver. There's more important things to worry about. Analysts talk about, the other thing is, analysts talk about paying off your bills, or they go to debtor's prison. Well, got news for you. Prisons are packed full. There's no room in prisons for people. FEMA camps are packed full. I did an earlier video, which I don't know if anybody watched, but it showed that even with the entire prison population and saying we had 700 FEMA camps, if they packed everybody full, it would only hold 5% of our entire population. That's not a lot of people. So what are they going to do with the rest of us? That's where the ammunition comes in. The military has switched their targets from normal targets to lifelike human targets. They're using women, children, and men as targets instead of round plates or other design targets. They're now using lifelike, so they get used to shooting at silhouettes of people, and when it comes time to shooting people, it's no big deal. As far as paying off your bills, I thought about that for a moment. I had paid off all my debt except for a loan and a car payment, and then I thought, you know what? If they're trying to depopulate the globe and bring the entire world's population to 350 million people, they're not going to wait around until everybody pays off their bills. They're just going to kill everybody and reset to a new currency and start fresh. They've already handpicked the people that they want to keep. They already know who they want: scientists, professors, doctors, lawyers, theologists, writers, artists, singers, whoever. Rich people buy their way in. They already know who's going to live and who's going to die. So it does not pay to bother paying off your bills. So I'm using my credit cards and I'm just going to pay the minimum. I'm keeping the cash, because when shit hits the fan, credit cards and debit cards will not work. And when people go to the store for food, it's going to be those who have cash are going to be the ones that are able to still purchase goods. You're still going to need money. They're still going to have to wait until all the money is out of circulation before they can bring in a new currency. You're still going to have to hold on to cash. Cash is still going to be a needed commodity. Um, I These analysts have got it wrong because they're missing the big picture. People are going to FEMA camps. They're going to be incinerated, and more people are going to be brought in. But people need to fight back. If we just work together as a country, and we could win this battle, but we are not working together. So if we're not working together, these are steps you can take to ensure your safety. Um, the other thing is the government is going after preppers first because they want to take their food supply so they can redistribute it. So you need to stock up on canned goods. That will not show up on government lists. Canned goods, rice, anything dry goods, anything like that. Charge it. Use your credit cards. Save your cash. Save your cash. Take a vacation while you can, because time's a clicking, and I think it's all going to happen before this election. If things don't go the way they wanted to for the election, shit's going to hit the fan sooner than we realize. So be prepared. Don't worry about your credit card bills and getting them all paid off. Keep the cash on hand. It's going to come in handy. If you're in a rural area, you might want to start thinking about looking at places where wild game concentrate, because uh, the government is probably going to use a false flag like an EMP attack so that we have no electricity, which means any food reserves that we have, like meat in the freezer, which is a bad buy to get, all that's going to go bad. So focus on where wild game is. And if you don't like it, you're going to have to learn to love it because it's full of protein. I'm talking rabbits, birds. There's wild birds, turkey, deer, all that kind of stuff. In a rural area, find where they are. Um, Market so you remember. Buy a bag of corn. Keep a bag of corn on hand so you can bait for the deer and animals, so you can at least hunt for some meat. Um, you don't let the meat go to waste. You can share it with the neighbors, whoever. If you got a group together, you work together. If you're in the city, the first sign that something doesn't feel right, if it's in your gut, that just, your gut is your instinct. Everybody's born with it, and you have it for a reason. If something just doesn't feel right, then that means it's time to go. And you better go. Trust your instincts. That's why you're given instincts. Find a place, find family, find friends in other areas. It's time to get to know the Lord. It's time to know Jesus Christ because He's our Savior. Right now, the devil has got full control of this world. He is running the show. But if you turn your life over to God and you devote yourself to Him, you believe in Him, you will be saved. You may have to go through hell, but I heard the best expression the other day that I want to share. Somebody said, "Yeah, I'm going through hell right now." And the other person said, "Well, that's good, a good thing." And the person just looked at him quizzically and said, "How is that a good thing?" And he replied, "Well, if you're going through hell, that means you're on your way out," which is a very good point. You'd rather not be in hell, you'd rather be going through it. So I thought that was a good point. Get to know Jesus. Read the Bible. Jesus warned us of these times, of these days. These are all prophetic statements that were predicted thousands of years ago that can be found in the Bible. None of this is new. This has all been foretold thousands of years ago, and it's coming to fruition. If you are a prepper, you keep it to yourself. Don't tell people, "Oh, I just went out and spent $50 on canned goods and all this and that, and I'm saving my cash. I've got $5,000. Your business is your business. Unless you have an alliance with a couple of friends or a small group, it's better to work with a small group. That's how you do it. If you're in a big city, if you're on a coastline, coastlines, you're definitely in danger. I would not want to live on a coastline because you're most likely to get flooded from a hurricane, a tsunami, something like that. There's already been predictions of New York getting wiped out and from a hurricane or a tsunami that just takes the state out. But stay away from precious metals. They're not going to do you any good. The Bible even tells you that gold and silver will mean nothing in the end. They will not help you. Um, you need to prepare your family with food. You need to prepare your family with the Lord Jesus Christ. And you need to have an escape plan. And the other thing is they are probably going to shut down all airports. So if you think you're going to fly out of here right before SHTF happens, you're wrong. Um, they're going to stop that as well. So protect yourself, protect your family, think ahead, and don't worry about your credit card bills or those other bills. pay what you have to pay, and that's it. Because they plan on depopulating the world anyway. They're not going to wait for you to pay your bills. They're going to start over fresh with a brand new world. And we are not part of it. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts. If you like it, please hit like. Share this video with others. Please hit subscribe to my channel. I will be making more videos. Love to hear from you guys. See you soon.